what Nagendra has said, but in my own modern scientific language. Now, what is cancer? Each and every cell of my body has a function to perform. As is the microcosm, so is the macrocosm. So each and every cell in my body is mini K.K. Agarwal. Some of the cells of my body are behaving in symphony with each other. Some of the cells in my body may be doing yoga, some may be trying to conspire, trying to make terrorists out of it. All those cells in my body who have lost their dharma, their purpose of life, they start growing and they become cancer cells. And if I really want to cure my cancer, I need to make my cells re-understand my dharma, my purpose of life, which can be dharma, artha, kama, moksha. I was being introduced by a doctor wearing a stethoscope, and basically wearing a stethoscope to tell you it's a modern doctor talking about nature cure, yoga and other practices. So that don't forget that I am an allopathic doctor. Because the time is less, I'm going to enumerate few simple examples. How come the traditional system of medicine and our traditional mythology has some science into it? Whenever we have physical pain, the sound which comes from our mouth will be a vowel. Ah, eh, oh, eh, ouch. So whenever there is a physical pain, the body will never produce a consonant. Ka, tha, ga, cha, cha, no, ma, no. Vowel chanting produces interleukin-2 in the body, which is a physical pain healer. It is 200 times stronger than aspirin. Therefore, whenever I chant a vowel, I will produce a drug which has aspirin-like action, and we all know aspirin today is used for prevention of cancer. Whenever I am disturbed, I weep. The weeping sound is nasal consonant, nasik vyanjan, ma, na, ga, na, na. If I speak this nasik vyanjan or nasal consonants during expiration, slowly, it will look like that I am weeping. And remember, whenever you are disturbed, you weep, you relax. Therefore, weeping sound is a relaxing sound. And the weeping sounds are nasal consonants. See, ma. It's a weeping sound. Na. It's a weeping sound. Ga. It's a weeping sound. Weeping sound produces tranquility of mind. It produces delta activity in the EEG. Therefore, whenever I chant a weeping sound, I will relax. And when I relax, each and every cell of my body relaxes. Therefore, they try to forget their terrorism attack and they try to be in symphony with each other. Therefore, a sound which is a mixture of a vowel and a nasal consonant is an allopathic sound because it produces aspirin and compost together. And that sound, Hindu call it as Om, O, aspirin, ma, compost. Buddhism call them as Hung, again, compost and aspirin combination. Christianity and Islam call them Amen and Amen. They all are combinations of a vowel and consonants. All mantras, whichever mantra you have, and if it is an effective mantra, it will be a combination of a vowel and a nasal consonant. Om, Im, Em, whatever you want to call it as. All songs which have lots of nasal consonants and vowels will be healing sounds. Healing song. Malik tere bande hum, compost. So therefore, first principle is that Om has nothing to do with saffronism, it has nothing to do with Hinduism, it has to do with the medical stethoscope doctrine. Therefore, if you add chanting of a vowel and a nasal consonant, it will prevent cancers, it will prevent heart disease, it will also reduce the requirement of allopathic drugs. So it works. True. Second, whenever I give a blessing to somebody, so I touch my hand on my forehead. Which area in allopathy? I don't know. Whenever you are upset, you hit in your third eye area. Why? What gets stimulated in modern medicine, I don't know. Whenever you say, I swear, you touch your throat. Why? I don't know. In allopathy, I have no answer. Why do I touch this area? Whenever you say, I love you, your hand comes to your heart. Whenever there is a doubt, there is an increased peristalsis. Whenever there is attachment, there is arousal. And whenever there is fear, you pass urine and stool. Therefore, there are 7 areas in your body which connect with 7 emotions. And in allopathy, I have no answer. But if I combine allopathy with Vedic medicine, I know there are autonomic plexuses there. I know there are celiac plexus, there are sacral plexus, there are thymus plexus, there are thyroid plexus, pineal gland, pituitary gland. And I know each and every area is connected with an endocrine gland. Therefore, if I stretch any of these 7 plexuses, autonomic nervous system plexuses, I will heal. And that science, which deals with stimulation of any of these 7 areas, that posture is called parasympathetic posture. In yogic language, they call them as yogasana. In terms of dance, it is called as a traditional Indian dance, Kathak, Bharatnatyam, and whatever you want to call it as. Therefore, stimulation of any of these 7 areas, so-called chakra in our Vedantic sciences, and in our sciences, it stimulates parasympathetic system. Therefore, our body has 2 systems, sympathetic and parasympathetic. I know sympathetic system is wearing and tearing system, and parasympathetic system is healing. If I go back to my evidence-based medicine, only 1 drug reduces mortality. There is no other drug which has been proven to reduce mortality, and that drug is beta blocker. Therefore, now it is compulsory for a heart patient to take a beta blocker unless necessary. What is this beta blocker? It is shifting you from sympathetic to parasympathetic mode. What is that parasympathetic mode? The healing mode. So what Nagendra ji has said, yoga, from modern medicine definition, yoga means a parasympathetic state of body and the mind. When you shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic mode by any way, that becomes a yogic lifestyle. By doing reducing your respiratory rate. When your respiratory rate is high, you become anxious. When your respiratory rate is low, you relax. During night, respiratory rate becomes low. Therefore, any technology which reduces respiratory rate is called parasympathetic breathing, which can be by increasing the inspiration duration or the expiration duration, or bringing a gap between inspiration and expiration, or expiration and inspiration. And yogacharyas call it as pranayama. In modern science, I call it as a parasympathetic breathing. So if I do a parasympathetic breathing with a rate of 4 per minute, I shift myself from sympathetic to parasympathetic mode. And if I do that, I start healing. For that, Yoga Sutra Patanjali has said, yam and niyam, do's and don'ts, if I take it away the code of conduct. Then they says asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. And if I have to shift it to allopathic medicine, that means that sit in a posture where you are still with the spine, where all your plexuses are in a straight line, that's asana. And then you do a parasympathetic breathing. When you are doing a parasympathetic breathing, you relax. When you in a period of relax, you create an atmosphere where you are not diverted, called pratyahar. Then you concentrate on the object of concentration, called dharana and dhyan. And when you concentrate on the object of concentration and give preference to the object of concentration over thoughts, becomes samadhi. Samadhi is not going into a state of still, it's a process. It's a process of stillness. Therefore, if your mind and the body is calm, you experience a state of samadhi, then you are in touch with your God. Who is God? My physical body is a computer. I have a software called Microsoft Word called Mind. I have a software called Microsoft Excel called Intellect. And I have a software called Microsoft PowerPoint called Ego. And then I have an internet called www.god.com/drkkagrawal, which is my soul. Similarly, Nagendra ji has an internet called www.smallg.com/nagendraji, which is his soul. Both of us are connected to a super soul here called the cloud internet, which is www.capitalgod.com/ which has my page and this page. And today, whatever he has spoken, it has got a copy there. Whatever I have spoken, I have got a copy there. Therefore, it makes sense. In allopathic language also it makes sense. And in my body, if I shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic mode, I bypass my mind, intellect and ego. I am in touch with my internal God called soul. Through that, I am in touch with my cloud internet called spirit, which we call them as a parasympathetic state of mind. So therefore, in allopathy, if you want to prevent any lifestyle disorder, whether heart attack, paralysis, or a cancer, the answer is shift to a parasympathetic mode. They call them as yogic lifestyle. I call them as parasympathetic. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. There is no difference. When there is no difference, why criticize each other? Why should any allopathy doctor say yog mein kuch nahi hai? And we are talking the same thing. Few years back, I went to Colorado in US. So I took a patient that was an asthma unit. And in Colorado, I saw some people doing this as new treatment for sinusitis. Learn $5,000. I said, we are from the country of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who's called as a Jugadu Prime Minister. Therefore, I must do a Jugadu and I must be able to attend without spending $5,000. But that's what is being taught to me. So I started finding all the ways, and ultimately I told them that I can bring you a lot of patients, so you teach me. They said, we can't teach you. So I said, why can't you teach me? He says, come forward. They took me and they were teaching Jal Niti. They were teaching Jal Niti and they were calling it as a nasal wash technique. They were exactly teaching, and in the bottom small written is the based on Indian traditional Jal Niti, which they were selling at $5,000. And today, every allopathic doctor, if you go for sinusitis, he says, he will not talk about Jal Niti, but he says, do a nasal wash. He says, do a nasal wash using soda bicarbonate and salt and non-iodized salt. Exactly what is being taught into. So therefore, everything in yoga today has a scientific meaning. We don't need to prove it. We don't need to tell people that yoga heals. It has to heal. It has to heal. Because yoga is nothing but shifting to parasympathetic mode. Why do I have to take a beta blocker to shift myself to parasympathetic mode when I can acquire the same thing by parasympathetic breathing? Therefore, I say, to prevent cancer up to the age of 80, follow the formula of 80 of Dr. K.K. Agarwal, Asti Ka Phanda. That is, keep your lower heart rate, pulse rate, lower blood pressure, LDL cholesterol, fasting sugar, abdominal circumference all less than 80. For that, do 80 cycles of parasympathetic breathing, so-called pranayama, with a rate of 4 per minute. Eat less the natural food, seasonal, locally grown, not more than 80 ml or 80 gram at a time. That is what is written in naturopathy, jo aapki haath ki muthi mein aa jaye apna khao. Eat less liquids, not like caloric liquids, not more than 80 ml at a time. Caloric liquids, not plain water. After that, spend 80 minutes, walk 80 minutes a day, brisk walk 80 minutes a week. Brisk walk means minimum 80 steps in a minute. Be away from a noise pollution of more than 80 decibels. Be away from PM 2.5 and 10 of more than 80. Everything is coming 80. Sit in the sunlight 80 days in a year. Every Monday, whatever you do, at least on 80 occasions ask yourself, is it right? Is it the truth? Will it help me? Will it help others? On every Tuesday, try to call 80 people to whom you have not talked. On every Wednesday, distribute gifts to 80 people. What gifts? Just appreciate 80 people you meet. Everybody you meet, just appreciate. On Thursday, think differently 80 times. On Friday, try to be with the nature for 80 minutes in a day. On Saturday, behave like a parasympathetic person. And I'm going to end by saying, what do you mean by parasympathetic person? In our Srimad Bhagavad, they define yogi. A Satya Yogi, Treta Yogi, Dwapar Yogi, and Kali Yogi. And they define 4 paths. The path of Satya, which is the path of truthfulness, the path of selfless working called Tat, the path of purity of mind, that is pure thoughts, Daya and Dam, that's charity. If you have all 4 of them, then you are a Satyogi. And if you have three of them, but not Satya, you are a Treta Yugi. If you don't have a Satya, if you don't have a Tap, then you are a Dwapar Yugi. And if you don't have a Satya, you don't have Tap, you don't have positive thoughts, but you have Daya and Dhan, you are a Kal Yugi. So I normally say, if you really want to prevent cancer, people say, this is a Kal Yuga, I can't do anything. Remember, in Satyug, there were Devtas, there were Danavs. In Treta Yuga, if Ram was there, Ravan was also there. In Dwapar Yuga, if Krishna was there, then Kans was also there. In this Kal Yuga today, the majority may be of Kal Yugi, but there will be some Satyugi, some Treta Yugi, and some Dwapar Yugi. Why can't I be one of them? And if you try to become a Satyugi in Kal Yuga, by observing the path of Satya, Tap, Pavitrata, Daya, and Dhan, then only you will be able to prevent and say goodbye to cancer. And for that, if you, whomsoever you meet, just ask one question. Can I help you? How can I help you? When you say, how can I help you, can I help you? It is Satya, because you are telling from your truthfulness, it is from your heart. There will be Tap, because if you ask for help, you will have to give. When you have to give it with a positive state of mind, and there will be charity as well as Dhan also. So my followers, if you really want to follow the principles of modern parasympathetic medicine, Vedic medicine I call it as, follow the principles of parasympathetic breathing. Sometimes if you get time, I have a K.K. Agarwal ji Ramayana try to read in the internet, where I correlate parasympathetic breathing with the whole Ramayana, where I describe parasympathetic breathing, breather as a person called Hanuman. You can read about that. So my message is very clear, two messages. Message number one, do parasympathetic breathing whenever you get time. Do a parasympathetic breathing. They call it as pranayama. I call it as parasympathetic breathing. But they are the same. They are the two faces of the same coin. Do that and follow the principles of Satyugi. Whenever you meet anybody, can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help my family? How can I help my society? That will bring brotherhood, and all conflict, stress will go away, and we will be able to live a cancer-free society. Thank you very much.